Welcome to the 2025 Economic Depression and Preparation channel. Thank you for joining me on this brief Sunday edition, July 6, 2025. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe button on the way in so you can be notified on the latest financial interpretation videos. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do interpret financial news as it becomes available from all the major news outlets. I appreciate everyone's support, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a restful, wonderful Sunday, whether you're at church, brunch, or at home, or some other place in America or outside of America. We thank you and we appreciate you here on the channel. Right now, we're going to be talking about stock index futures. They tread water with all eyes on key U.S. jobs report this Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Wall Street and Main Street are both feeling the effects of a economy that is slowing down with uncertainty due to the looming tariffs, suspension of the tariffs, trade tariffs coming up, deadline July 9th, as well as the private sector job loss, as well as the public sector job losses that are suspensions that are going to be felt coming up in this third quarter, late in this third quarter of 2025. Right now, futures are up just a little bit now. Dow Jones futures are up just a little bit, half a percentage point. Nothing to write home about, but as we have celebrated the holiday and the July the 4th holiday and the Independence holiday coming up on the 250th anniversary year of this country, Wall Street continues to indicate mixed signals here in terms of going up and down. The volatility is still there. In yesterday's trading session, the day before the holiday and the day before this weekend, Tesla advanced over 4% after the electric vehicle company reported better than feared second quarter deliveries. Chip stocks also gained ground. NXP Semiconductors, on semiconductors, they rise more than 4%. In addition, Nike climbed over 4% as a stock top percentage gainer on the Dow after President Trump said the U.S. reached a trade deal with Vietnam, a key supplier of Nike shoes, as you know. So we have to wait and see how things go this week. It could be an up and down week on Wall Street as expected. Now, investors traded a record $6.6 trillion worth of stock in the first half of 2025. Retail investors' dip buying remains strong as ever despite tariffs, according to the MarketWatch.com article. Middle East tensions, of course, and economic uncertainty remain the big question mark as we head into the second half of 2025. But ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what the articles say here, you and I know that Wall Street, the Dow Jones, is far detached at above $44,000 points. It is far detached from what's happening on Main Street right now as the U.S. private sector jobs. Now, they lost 33,000 jobs in June, according to CNNBusiness.com. That's a big blow, missing expectations for senior economists' expectations for an increase of 115,000 jobs. Now, either these are phantom job postings here for construction, manufacturing, mining, technology. Either the phantom job postings, the two things that could be true at the same time, or either somebody's fudging the numbers here from the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics here. So they lost 33,000 jobs in the private sector, and this is missing the expectations. Economists predicted that the job growth slowed in June to just 115,000 jobs. And this is after many college graduates have complained to me that they're taking longer to find a decent paying job. And what I mean by a decent paying job, you all know, anything over $30 an hour, $35 an hour is a decent paying job in this economy that you want to hold on to. And that the unemployment rate rose to 4.3%. So now we're looking at a situation now, like I told you before, that I believe the unemployment rate, the official unemployment rate, not the shadowstats.com rate that we know is higher, but the official unemployment rate will rise to 5% by the end of this year, guaranteed. And you're going to see that happening now. So the unemployment rate is ticking up now here as we head into the beginning of July. And so it was revised down. ADP's tabulations don't always correlate with the official federal jobs report, quote, the person says here. For example, ADP's March 2023 reading was eventually revised down to a net loss of 53,000 jobs, while the official jobs data showed a net gain of 48,000 private sector jobs of the overall 85,000 jobs added. Now, this is largely due to a 30,000 job lift then from state and local governments. Remember, they were hiring some of the federal workers, allegedly some of the federal workers that were being suspended or bought out or terminated or whatever the case may be back in those days, back in when we had that back in was April or March when that was going on at the height of that. Now, Thursday, the numbers are coming out, like I said, at 8:30 Eastern time. And we'll see what happens with those numbers coming up this week. Are they going to be higher or lower? But with tariffs and rising costs, U.S. consumers, U.S. spenders are spending less on video games. I thought that was interesting. In this economy, many people are cutting back video games for their kids, for themselves, streaming video games. So many people are cutting back on that. As you know, the video game market is hot in South Asia. A lot of this comes from Japan, and of course, the months ahead of us, years ahead of us in technology, video game technology. Japan, South Korea, Singapore. A lot of these video games come from that area, and the advance and the cost saving. So as you know, many people are cutting back on that because they're spending on entertainment areas, video game included. And I would go so far to say they're cutting back on movie streaming services, not just including the AMC debacle, but also cutting back on Netflix services and different things like that. So, because, I mean, let's face it, entertainment kind of goes out the window when you're trying to make rent, you're trying to make mortgage, you're trying to make car payments, you're trying to make insurance payments, taxes. The cost of clothes has gone up for kids and regular people to replace things like food. So we're focusing on essential goods. So this is no surprise. And I told you this a couple of videos ago, and you and I, you can all concur, is that when the price of essential goods, food, clothes, medicine, housing goes up, many people focus on that. So they're saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 did set another record by selling 1.1 million units in its launch week in the US. No surprise there. That's been going on for the last 30, 40 years. Well, you know, young kids would go and put things on reserve, games on reserve, or their parents and they would pick it up. So that's always been strong. However, many people are cutting back on that, because production costs have gone up too. For Nintendo, the cost of making these Nintendo products, production costs have gone up. And so they're going to pass those costs on to you. And so that's why I say there's going to be inflation in items that we need and deflation in items that we don't need, like video games, TVs, curved TVs, maybe discounted heavily at places like Costco, Sam's, or BJ's, or wherever you go. But items that we do need, food, water, security, medicine, they're going to be going up. And many people have been going to this quote-unquote hustle culture. CNBC's Make It had an article on Saturday. Engineer caught juggling multiple startup jobs is a cautionary tale, quote, of extreme hustle culture. Many people are working 2 or 3 side hustles in addition to their main job, even in the STEM fields, even in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. People are working jobs, many jobs, multiple jobs, freelance jobs, whatever, to try to keep up with this economy that's just changing rapidly with AI and automation that's just killing everybody's work ethic and everybody's job, because AI is just, processing all this thing so fast. And so the tech industry is reeling after a software engineer was exposed as working at several Silicon Valley startups at the same time. As experts say, it's a lesson that hustle culture has gone too far. So this software engineer from Mumbai, Soham Parikh, went viral on social media after being accused by Playground AI founder Sahil Doshi on X of working at a number of startups simultaneously. He's working at 3 or 4 startups simultaneously, and people said that this is part of the hustle culture that's continuing here. Now, they offered him a total package and compensation package worth $250,000 per year, but withdrew the offer after he couldn't live with us in San Francisco. Now we know why, Hubble told CNBC via email, explaining that the company is early stage. The team living and working together is, quote, crucial. As you know, remote work has ended for a lot of companies and governments. And so now they want people on site. He couldn't be on site. He's remote. And they offered him a package here. He said no, it's not going to be enough in San Francisco, the sacrifice to live on. And he admitted, Parikh admitted to that he was true, that he was working multiple startups at once. He was, quote, wasn't proud of what he'd done. He says, quote, no one really likes to work 140 hours a week, but I had to do this out of necessity. I was in extremely dire financial circumstances. This is key here. So a lot of people are in dire financial circumstances, whether they have a bunch of debt or they have other family members that take care of, or it could just be a combination of they're trying to get ahead, trying to, pay off a property early, pay off a mortgage or a car early, or whatever the case may be, or save great savings so they can get through this, next couple of years that we know is going to be kind of a slowdown. I wouldn't say a depression, but a definite slowdown is coming, regardless of your political, all of our political affiliation. We know that America is having some issues here. Now, this guy is a cautionary tale in the sense that I want to say that, that you need to balance. Okay, you can work multiple jobs, but you have to remember that it's a spending problem. And it seems like this guy had a spending problem. So you can make a lot of money, but if you don't know how much you keep or how to invest properly, it's always going to go out the back door, go out the back window. It's gone, it's evaporate. So we just have to keep that in mind as we continue to our prepping and our preparations. Is that sometimes you can hustle and do all of that, but you could be hustling the wrong way or hustling in the wrong ventures, and that could be just as disastrous as spending all your money on reckless activities and just not taking care of business with family, friends, and cohorts alike. So God bless. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you on the next episode here later on this week as we get the start of Monday going here and see what this economy is going to do. Take care.